Hello and welcome, my name is Thalric and today we are going to play some more Blood Bowl 2. Of course we are going to play our Lizardmen team. So let's try to find an opponent. We're at a team value of 1240 at the moment. So let's try and find an opponent. Hopefully it won't take very long. So far we've gotten pretty lucky with our matches and we'll have to see if we can keep that up. So, and we've got an opponent. It's a Skaven team with a team value of 1400, so they are stronger than we are. And we're getting a lot of petty cash. I haven't really checked the star players yet, so let's do that. We've got Hemlock, who's got Stab, I think, Morkentalk, and Sleebly. All good choices, but I think with what we've got, let's go for a Wizard. So we're going to get a Wizard and a Bloodweiser Babe. And then we're going to validate. Okay, so I think this match will be hard. Skaven are always intimidating for me because they're very fast. And also the team is better developed than ours, so we'll have to check their skills and see if there's something that could be problematic for us. Looks like he's got a red ogre. Okay, so we've got two gutter runners. Thrower. Got a storm vermin. Another gutter runner. We might not see all of his players, or his fourth gutter runner is injured at the moment. We'll skip our own team. We know what they look like. So let's see what the coin flip does. And our opponent gets to choose. And he chose to attack first. Okay. So let's set up. Okay, so let's put some players with 0 SPP on the line of scrimmage together with our Croxigore. So I'm trying to think what the best setup would be against Skaven, because they are so fast. I think our best choice would be something along this line. We don't want to leave any obvious openings for them, so he can just run his gutter runner through. So we've got a solid line of scrimmage and we'll set the rest up this way, so he could break through the middle, but it's not as easy. And then we will confirm our setup. And I see he's got the same attitude as I do. It's always on the positive side. And of course I'll let my opponent know that this match will be set up on uploaded to YouTube. And I've already made a mistake, which I just realized as I saw where he put his red ogre. He's going to serve our Saurus here, so we'll instantly be one player down. If he succeeds, which is pretty likely. So I wasn't really thinking, and that will cost us pretty big. And that's the first time that someone actually responded, so I'm pretty happy about that. So I'll let him know where he can find the match. And we'll have to wait and see if he answers. If he does, hi. So as I've already said, I had a pretty big misplay already in setting up, because I wasn't paying enough attention, or better, I forgot that the red ogre is frenzy, which is pretty stupid. So we both got a bribe. That's okay. Does he have any spare players? It doesn't look like it. So any injury we can inflict on his team will result in one less player he has to work with. So let's see if he can make the push happen. And he can't, so that is lucky for us, because he had needed a push to get our player in position. Oh, he's got piling on the red ogre. I should check his skills. And Longtooth is stunned. I think that's okay. Okay, so let's check his other players real quick. We've got Lyman with block, Lyman with out skill, Storm Vermin with mighty blow. The other Storm Vermin has guard. What do they have? We've got a Gutter Runner with sidestep and block. A movement allowing 10, sidestep, block, Gutter Runner. Oh god, that's not good. Gutter Runner without any skills, and his thrower has kick, accurate. Yeah, kick and accurate. So I think that's a pretty solid setup. So that's pretty unlucky for him and pretty good for us. So let's see what we can do now. I think our best option actually is to go straight for the ball. Although that will be a bit risky, but I think we don't really have choice. So first let's try to get our Croxigor into position. Actually, let's try to bind that Gutter Runner. The Prehensile Tail will make it more difficult for him to dodge away. And then we'll move our players up a little bit, or over, I should say. Should always remember to make the save actions first, so that was necessary. We won't mark him up because we want our block Saurus to be mobile. So I think now we'll go for the blitz. Luckily it's on its Gutter Runner without any skills, so the chance is higher, and we've got a POW. We'll defend it down. And we'll follow that up. That's fine. So let's get our next Saurus up here. And then we'll try to get this skink here. So we'll have a tackle zone on the ball, and of course the going for it fails, but I think we'll reroll that. It's a bit risky to use a reroll this early, but it's a good opportunity for us. So I think we'll have to try. What I'm going to do next is a bit risky as well. First I'm putting him one back so he's not in contact with the red ogre if he decides to blitz with it. We put him here and I'm running out of time, so I'm going to move very fast. That's stupid, and it works some more, and one more. Okay, that was extremely stupid, but I was running out of time again. So I'm happy that worked out. So normally we wouldn't have done that. We would have routed our player's course much more carefully, but we are now effectively blocking his access, so he has to run around our skink or blitz it. So I think we can be pretty happy that that worked out. And his mighty blow storm vermin is... oh, okay, so that's not good, and badly hurt, so nothing we will do about that. So that's pretty unlucky for us, but we'll just have to adjust. I'm bitching and moaning about my big guy anyways most of the time, so now I don't really have an excuse anymore. So let's see if he manages to pick up the ball or not. We shouldn't forget our wizard. I haven't actually used the wizard in Blood Bowl 2 yet. It should work as it did in Blood Bowl 1, so I'll save it for now because it could save us the game later on with its when using it. So it looks like he wants to remove our skink here, and he pushes it away, and then he will try to pick up the ball with this gutter runner, I think. It's the only player that would be the choice, and he's doing so. The problem with gutter runners is they're extremely fast, though. Although he went 4 spaces back, he can still move 5 spaces. We can only hope that he won't be able to stand up his stormworm, his red ogre, because he won't be blocking with it. There's only 50% chance that he will actually stand up. So that would leave this area open, but no such luck. So far, not exactly the best situation for us, but I don't think that's the biggest problem. It's still early in the game, and although the loss of our red ogre hurt, our Croxigor, we can still manage, I think. And he had to use a reroll, but he's now got a pretty solid cage. And we have to see if we can bust that open. So let's stand up Longtooth first. So what we should try now is get a player onto in contact with his gutter runner. So we'll use Young Bull, who has block, to blitz here. And that works. And we'll push him the only free space available and follow. After that, yes, let's move Underbite over here. And now we have the problem that we're always in danger of getting served by the Red Ogre, so we can't really close our sidelines. So we'll have to work around that and try to keep him occupied somehow. We'll move him back here to keep him from switching sides over here. And now we'll have to think, do I want to put a Saurus next to his Red Ogre or not? That's the big question. He could serve him if we do. So I think we'll go about it differently. We put him here and put the skink back here, so he could still blitz the skink, but he can't just serve us as easily. And then we'll put him over here in case he tries to get through here somehow. And so there's only our blocks remaining, so we get him and we'll follow. And we've injured his thrower, and I've just realized the name of the thrower. I won't say it. That's for everybody else to read. But I think it's funny that the filter of the game concerning names can be tricked that easily. So what can we do now? Let me think real quick. Let's go defensive somewhere, and we'll move the skink away. And leave it at that. And that's an early turnover. Okay, that was pretty bad luck. So now we have the opportunity to get the ball free again. Won't be easy because he's got block and dodge. So we need a defender down to make it happen. But we might be able to do so with a bit of luck. So that won't happen, so we'll just do this so he can't be pushed. Can choose where he wants to be pushed. What can we do? Okay, so let's try this. We'll get our skinks over here. Don't forget to go safe with the defense. Let's move the skink over here. And then we will blitz his Red Ogre. And we'll have to reroll that. Okay, so it's only a push. But we got a second player there. So that's nice. Okay, so now everything we do is pretty risky. So I think I'll move him up here. Then let's try this block. It's only push. And we will follow as well. Well, before we do that, let's make it a bit more difficult for him and put our skink over there. Luckily for us, dodge worked. So that worked, which is pretty nice. We will stay. And another armor break, but only stun. What did he write? Looks like he's a bit annoyed with the team. I can understand that. It's always unlucky if something like this happens. But we all know that the dice can change really fast, so let's see what will happen. We'll have to wait and see, I should say. But so far it's looking better for us now, I think. He's pretty restricted in his movement, but it still remains that the gutter runners are extremely fast, and with agility 4 they can dodge reliably, more or less. So let's see what he comes up with to deal with the situation. Okay, so he chose not to push us away there. But that can end pretty dangerous if he chooses to pile on, which he shouldn't, because he didn't break our armor. So I'll count this as a win. Piling on, using piling on when you didn't break the armor already is either greedy, or you can just you have to really you need to be able to afford it. So far we both are one player down, so he can't really, he needs his red ogre to be standing up, so he can't afford him being on the ground just to maybe get through the armor of our skink. So I think he made the right choice there. But he did manage to create an open space for him to dodge out of. But he can't really go anywhere. The question is, can we reach him? So far he's doing a good job to keep us away, and this one dice is working. Okay, so it looks like he's moved all of his players, so it's our turn again. First of all, we stand up him. We are going to leave the skink on the floor for now. And then we'll move him over here. And then we're going to try to get the ball again. Wait, we can get a 3-die block, I think. We have to use our skinks for that, but against the blotch player it's pretty important, I think. So we'll just try it. So now we have more than double his strength, so we get 3 dice. And let's hope that there will be a defender down. And there is. And we will follow. And so far it's a scatterfest. Okay. So he's got 3 tackle zones on the ball. So let's block here. That worked as well. So what should we do? We will push him over here. And we will stay. It might have been better to follow up so that we could try to pick up the ball, but we won't try this turn. we will put another Saurus here. Then we will block here. That worked as well, and we'll push him over there and not follow. Want to keep our Saurus mobile to get him in case we need to blitz. And now we'll try to dodge out Critter. That might fail because of Prehensile Tail, but we still have to try. Luckily it worked. So what we'll do now is we will put him over here. And I think that will be all. We will, I left Hopper over here so that he can just, in case he manages to get to the ball, he can just throw it to his lineman over here. So we needed him for that. So we've got 3 tackle zones on the ball now ourselves, so he needs very good rolls to pick it up. I think it's a 5+ now for his gutter runners. And he manages another defender down against a skink, which is unfortunate. And he KO'd Celerity. Won't use the apothecary for that. But it doesn't really help him against this either. Did he just reroll his wild animal? Apparently, and it worked. But he doesn't have a reroll anymore, and he used piling on again, and it's a failure both times. So that's what I meant. Basically, he failed his roll against our Saurus and he piled on anyways. So now his Red Ogre is on the ground and isn't a problem for us in the next turn, which is pretty good. I think piling on is most useful if you only stun an enemy player and want to try to get a KO or injury. It can be used in other situations, but it's always risky. And he's getting another defender down against the skink, and it's another armor break. And he injured Critter. Okay, smashed hand, miss next game. We won't use the apothecary for that. I almost never use the apothecary on a badly hurt or a miss next game result, because it's just wasted basically, and you need to be prepared for a permanent injury, and so I usually save the apothecary for that. So let's see what he does here. He fails his dodge, so it's a turnover. So now we basically have to try to get to the ball. There's our block player. Can we do this? Not really reliably. I want to push his player onto the ball, which can be good or bad, but I want to do with the block players, but I can't, so I'll try it without. Let's hope it works anyways. It does. So we'll push him on there, and of course we'll follow. I won't reroll that. The scatter could have been a lot better. So that doesn't help us really. So let's get 3 tackle zones on the ball again. So we won't really be able to block anymore this turn. So let's try to keep his gutter runners in place. So we put Crimson Fang over here. We need to limit the movement of his gutter runners as best as possible. That's unfortunate, but we can't do anything about that. So to do anything with his gutter runners, he needs to dodge now. And he doesn't have a reroll anymore. So let's see what he can do. So far his 1 dice rolls have been pretty solid, and his blocks against our skinks as well. I think he has the player advantage by 2 players at the moment. But we do have strength 4. So that helps. I think he will try to blitz with his red ogre maybe to get him up reliably. And he does. And let's see if he doesn't get an armor break. Will he try to pile on again? Looks like he won't. He's doing the smart thing and moving him to the ball to get that prehensile tail there. I think that's the best choice. So he'll probably try to block us as much as possible this turn, and I think he won't try to get to the ball, but we'll hope that I will push on the ball again and that he gets a good scatter out of it. But we'll have to wait and see for that. So what do we do here? So we've got a few choices, and I think we'll do it a little bit differently this time. We'll try to get his red ogre off the ball. So we'll block here, and we have to reroll that. Okay, so we don't have reroll anymore, but we can chain push his red ogre away, and we'll follow that up. So now he only has his gutter runner on the ball. The question is, do we want to try and get that gutter runner off the ball? He does have sidestep, so he could step on the ball. So let's go for a bit more safety, maybe. We'll move Hopper up here. We'll stand him up, which we should have done as a first action, but I forgot about him. And then we'll use Young Bull and blitz this gutter runner. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we can get a defender down again with our 3 dice. We can't, so I think he will push him. Okay, so why can't I see where he's going to be pushed? That shouldn't happen, I think. But we will follow. And he's pushed on the ball. Okay, so that's not good for us. What do we do now? Okay. So I think we should do this first. Defender down is very good. We won't follow up because we need the tackle zone. And it's a stun that at least keeps his gutter runner from being able to score next turn. And then we will try to pick up the ball. But we fail. And that scatter is pretty bad. So I think there's a good chance for him to get to the ball this turn. But let's see what the dice decide. We have to remember that we still have our wizard. And we still have a bribe. I totally forgot about that, so we could try to foul if the opportunity presents itself and have minimal risk in doing so. So we'll have to wait and see if we can do something with that. Okay, so he's pushing away or trying to get our skink away, but his going for it fails. Whew. That's pretty rough. So, yeah, that's never really nice. So, we've got 2 more turns to try to make a touchdown happen for us. So, is there anything we can do now to make that more reliable before we try to pick up the ball? I think we do have to try to pick it up as first action, because a block could fail. Okay, so we've managed to pick it up, but where do we want to go actually? That's the good question. So I think there's a gutter runner over here who will try to get to us, and the storm vermin here. So let's check. If we go over here, can we make a touchdown? We've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spaces to go. Okay, so we'll do it a bit riskier and take the dodge, because we've got dodge, so we can go 1 space further, and that worked. So then we will move. Will we move Hopper over here? We don't have much time. I think yes, we will. And then we'll do the essential blocks. This one is pretty important. So let's push him here and stay. Then we'll do this one. It's just a push, but that's okay. We will follow. Then we block here. It's just a 1 dice, I should have known that. But that's okay, and we will stay. Let's do this one. Didn't work, sidestep. It's going over there. We will stay, but move him up to here. And after that we'll block this one, and it's a defender down. We'll push him over here, and we will stay. Okay. Bit rushed, but it worked out pretty okay, I think. And we're in a more or less solid position. He has to dodge out to get to our skink. And that is not as easy, because there's always at least 1 tackle zone, at least for his gutter runners. This guy, of course, could just dodge out, but it's the same chance with agility 3. And I think he's trying to get an assist on to the war carrier. And his ball carrier and his lineman here got block, so his chance would be better. His gutter runners have block as well. And let's see, it's only a push. But that does mean that we will have to dodge and make it going for it. Maybe. Perhaps we can make something else work. We'll have to see about that. So far it's been a pretty chaotic game. I think our opponent had good armor breaks, but overall he also had some pretty bad rolls which allowed us to stay in the game. And we'll have to wait and see what this last turn brings. And it's another armor break against us. Luckily it's only a stun. But that will make it really difficult for us to get that touchdown. The question now is, do we want to try and use the wizard to make it happen? That's really not an easy question. So we would have to make 2 dodges and a going for it for this to work. He's marked off all of our Sauruses, so we can't blitz away one of his gutter runners, or try to. We could use our wizard to get the lightning bolt and try to just get 1 dodge, but let's just try the 2 dodges. Either it works or it doesn't. Let's see. Okay, so the dodges worked and they're going for it. Fails. Oh, but it's still okay. It was his attack, so a draw is acceptable. Luckily, our KO player comes back. So it's 10 players against 10 because we've got a skink in reserve. We still don't have our Croxigore available. So we'll have to still work around that, but we've got a lot of strength 4 players that can make a lot happen. We just have to play very safe because of the mobility the Skaven have. And let's see what the second half brings. So far I'm having a lot of fun, and I think my opponent does know how to play well. It looks like he just has a lot of bad luck, and it's getting a bit salty because of it. That's understandable. I think we all went through this at some point or another during our Blood Bowl careers. So nothing to be ashamed about. It's just Blood Bowl. You will lose a lot of matches because of bad rolls. There's nothing you can do about that. Okay, so because I'm totally forgot, let's check what catch does again. Okay, needs just drops a handoff or fails to make an interception. Okay, so it's only getting the ball. That's okay. So we've got the lineman here and one here. So we'll set up slightly more on this side and put our skinks with 3 SPP in the back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And over here. And we move I wanted to change the thesaurus there, so him over here. It's just a precaution in case he does get a blitz action, so he can't just run through and get the ball. So let's confirm that. Luckily we injured his thrower, so he doesn't have kick and can control where the ball will go as much. But he got an extra reroll, which is good for us, good for him, and well, yeah, bad for us. But nothing too major. And we've injured his player, so that's pretty nice. And it's a miss next game with a gouged eye. And also Young Bull got another level up, so I'm happy about that. So let's put this Saurus over here. We won't go into contact with this player so that we can keep our mobility. It does lessen our ability to bash him, but I think we need to keep the mobility if possible in case his gutter runners manage to break through. That's also why I'll move celerity over here and not up the pitch, because he could just it's a good possibility that he will manage to break through, and just to get a potential threat going we'll move Hopper up, and after that we'll do our blocks first before we try to pick up the ball. And that one failed. I think let's risk it. The early reroll is risky once more, but I think it's a good choice nonetheless. And then we will block here, and that's where it ends. But nothing happens. Okay, so that's not really ideal, because we've got a huge gap here where he can run his gutter runners through. So it was a good idea that we got celerity back here, but we have to be very careful now, because things could go wrong really fast. And he commented that I went on the crooked one. He's got the player I just injured had -1 in movement allowance. I just thought that it would help our chances if we went on the side where he's got his slower player, and having the slower player there would help us getting through. So the injury was of course welcome, but not planned. Okay, so he didn't get through armor again. So far he's doing a really good job in targeting our skinks, and he's got we've got 9 against 9 if I am doing math correct. Once again, the language barrier is keeping me from getting the words right, and he had to use a reroll here, so that's good for us. And he still didn't manage to get the player down. So what is our best choice now? So we still want to blitz with Young Bull if possible because of his block. We'll move a Longtooth back here. And then we will try to protect Hopper here and go after his storm vermin. That worked, and we of course will follow. And what will we do after that? I think a good choice will be going back here. So let's try to pick up the ball first now. Or maybe... No, I think we need to advance down the pitch, so we need to pick up the ball. And where are his gutter runners? This is the one that is furthest. Okay. So let's not move too much up the pitch. Then we'll put Swift here. So now we'll do this. It's just a push. We'll push him here and stay. What can we do with Crunch? I think we'll try and be defensive with him as well and keep this side closed, so we'll move him over here. And then we'll dodge away. And let's check real fast with over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll put him here so that we can potentially hand off the ball to him next turn. That would mean going for it for a touchdown, but we want to keep our options open so that we could score if we want to, or could try to score. And he's forced to concentrate on keeping the skink marked up. And he's doing so pretty heavily. Luckily for us, this time he didn't get through the armor. Oh, that's good. And he re-rolled, and the re-roll worked, but it's still both down. And his red ogre is injured. Oh god. That's really unfortunate for him. But he did use his apothecary, so... Oh, and he oh god. Yeah, we will use the apothecary for that. And yeah, okay. That is a dead Saurus, or a fired Saurus. So we take the fractured skull. But unfortunately, a Saurus with minus armor value isn't really that useful to us. So that trade was pretty brutal. But we now have the upper hand in strength, so we should be able to make something work with that. Okay, so what can we do here? Let's try to get some more of his players away. So we go after his armor value 7 players. Its storm vermin are a lot more dangerous, but the linemen are squishier and can be injured easier. So I tried going after one. Didn't really work out. But we can try the cage now. Okay, so let's hope this works. Push is not ideal, but okay. We won't follow, we want him there. Then we'll move him here. Then we will put him here. So, and hopefully we can dodge away here. Okay, so it's a pretty brutal match. Nothing major in the injury department aside from our dead sorrows, so I think it was the right choice that we saved some money so we can replace him immediately after this match. Unfortunately, he did have 4 SPP, although he did get 2 of them because of the Red Ogre just now. But there's nothing we can do about it. Hopefully he won't get the MVP at the end of the match. That would pretty suck. Would suck a bit. Okay, so I think he made a movement error. But it's still everyone's game. We're pretty much even in players on the pitch. He might have the upper hand, I'm not sure. He's down 3 players and we are as well at the moment. And he's hunting my skinks again, but luckily can't make that work. So he's going... okay. He risked the 1 die. So let's check out, where is Young Bull? Young Bull is over here. I think probably our best choice is going through the middle. And we'll just try that. Okay, so that is good. We'll push over here and follow. And then we'll move him over here. We will also leave Hopper where he is now, because I don't want to risk the dodge, and also it will force his gutter runner to dodge or blockers. Either way would be fine for me. Problem is we have to do our dodge first now, because if we move those players away and the dodge fails, we're screwed. But luckily it did work, and then we'll go as far as we can and try our best to block his options. Okay, so we'll put him here, so we can still reach our ball carrier, but not as easily. And there's dodging involved, although it probably can make it work. But let's see. Although I don't really like stalling, it might be our best option at the moment if we can make it work. Because he's got that movement allowing 10 gutter runner, so his chance at a 1-turn touchdown or 2-turn touchdown are pretty high, especially because we are down a few players. And he's blitzing, but it's only a push, so he probably reroll that. And he's got us, so let's see what happens. And it's an armor break, but only a stun. So that could have been worse. And he didn't pick up the ball. And he has to make 2 going for it to get to the ball. So the situation is still pretty dangerous for us, but manageable in my opinion. Let's see what he does with this 1 dice. Just a push again. Probably... no, he won't try to get another one. He is freeing up his Storm Vermin to move him around. It's the better and safer choice, I think. So it's still anyone's game. And he's doing a very good job right now, I think. Moving that Storm Woman there would be the right choice, in my opinion. Let's see if he ends up doing it, or if he wants to do something else first. Okay, that was lucky. Yeah, so if he's got 2 tackle zones anywhere he wants to go, he manages to dodge out anyways, so he can now pick up the ball. But yes, he does, with a 2. So now might be the best opportunity to use our wizard. I think we should risk that. We could go for the Firebolt to try and get them all, but Firebolt only works on a 4+, and the Lightning Bolt works on a 2+. Shouldn't that do something? Ah, okay, I misclicked. He's stunned, and the scatter is good for us. Okay, so what can we do now? We now need to take some risky blocks first, so we'll do this one to free up him, so of course it fails. Okay, good, so we'll push him here, and we will stay. Okay, so let's check those. Oh. That's the one without. Okay, so do we want to pick up the ball? No, we will try to play it a bit safer. Then we won't blitz, we will block here. That works, and we'll push and follow, so that we will free up our skink here. And we'll move him here. So we want to limit the movement of his gutter runners again. And now we will blitz his gutter runner without blotch. Might have been better to get the skink over here so that we get his 3 die, but it worked anyways, and he's injured. But barely hurt, so nothing major. So far, Young Bull is doing very good. So what can we do now? We will mark up this storm vermin and then we'll do this block. And it's only a push, but that's okay, and we will stay. Okay. So we are out of a wizard now. I think buying it was worth it. And he only has one gutter runner that can do anything this turn. And he failed his dodge, so he has to reroll that and use his last reroll. And that worked this time. But it's only a push because of our dodge. I'm not sure if the movement allowance would have been enough, but I think he should have dodged through here and pushed the skink over there so that he could have got to the ball without running all the way around. But he did, and oh, and that's what I needed. Okay, so we will still try to be safe and not just try to pick up the ball, but let's check. Okay. So let's get celerity over here. And then we will blitz with the young bull. That's fine. Not really what I wanted, but still fine. I won't do these other blocks. I will move up underbite a bit. So, do I want to risk it? Yes, I think it's still the best choice. Okay, that didn't work. But the pickup could have failed as well. So I wanted to limit his gutter runners again before trying to pick up the ball. But that failed. We still got 2 skinks on the ball and he can't really get... He can get a 2 dice and he's trying to now. But let's see what he does with that. It's just a push. But he will be able to serve us next turn, if he chooses to. But he tries to pick up the ball. And he manages to do so. And now it's getting problematic again. Really problematic. Okay, so that's not good. But it's our own fault. We should have tried to pick up the ball, and we didn't. We can still make it work. It's just not that easy. Because we have to blitz with our skinks. And he fails that dodge and KO'd one of his players. Okay, nice. So the question is, what do we want to do now? What we'll definitely want to do... Okay, so how far can he go? So we'll move 1 Saurus back. However, not so far back, so let's move 1 space up again. And then we will put our Sauruses up here. Then we will move Hopper over here. Oh, it's his guard Stormman. So the question if we want to block him before we try this just resolved itself, and that worked, so we will follow. Okay, so let's move him and just blitz. And we still have one reroll, it's our last, but we might have to use it. Let's just try. We need to get that defender down, and that is pretty bad again. So I really regret not picking up that ball, or trying to pick that up. And he manages to get the skink again, so he can dodge with his gutter runner around this way, which he'll most likely do, I think. So I think most likely we will end in a draw. He has 2 turns remaining, so this one and the next one, but he can't get into touchdown range. So the next turn will decide if I can manage to get a win or if we will keep the draw. Oh, is it his movement 10 gutter runner? Yes, it is. So he could score next turn. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I think it's out of the question that we will win this one, because it's not really possible for us, and of course that works. So we will only have a 1 dice now against him. So I think we won't block. Oh no, we've got a 2 dice still, but it's still not good. So let's just try it. Oh. So let's try it. And we get the defender down. Okay, so if the ball now scatters outside, we could still make it work. It's unlikely, but let's see what happens. Nope. Okay. Okay, so he's taking it with humor as well. I think we both had a good time and a nice match. I can't reach the ball, so I could reach the ball with this with the Saurus, but I probably won't, so I'll just block. Let's see if we can make one more casualty happen. So far, it doesn't look like it. So, let's do this. Okay. And no armor break as well. I won't foul on turn 16. That's bad form, in my opinion. So, let's end our turn. So, in the end, it was a draw again. We might have pulled out a win, but considering that we lost our Cruxigor in the really early in the match, and lost a Saurus as well. I think we can still be happy. The Skaven team is a lot better developed than our team. So I think it's still an okay result. I would have loved a real win, but I guess we'll have to wait until the next match and hopefully get it there. Yeah. Okay, so we've got good winnings and +1 fan factor again. So we will be able to replace our Saurus. So Critter got the MVP, so he's now at 5 out of 6. Is he injured? Wasn't it just a badly hurt? So in the end we lost. Oh, Crimson Fang got 2 injuries this match, so it's even more unfortunate that we will have to fire him with this armor value 8. But oh well, that's Blood Bowl. So I think we will. Let's check Critter. Ah, okay. Critter did get a miss next game. That's it. So not too bad. So let's fire Crimson Fang. Yes, unfortunately. I need to think about a new name, so I won't replace him right now. But I'll do that at the start of the next match. So let's just level up Youngbull. I'm not that happy that he's hogging all the SPP, but it could be a lot worse, so having a skilled Saurus could be really helpful. I think we'll go for either Tackle or Mighty Blow next. Tackle would help against agility teams like the Skaven team we just played, and Mighty Blow would increase our chances of injuring players. So Frenzy could also be a good choice, although a bit more uncommon, because it increases our potential to serve players. It's not an easy choice. Break Tackle is always a good choice for Sauruses as well, but I think I'll go for Mighty Block. It's an offensive choice and I think we can make that work. So we will validate that. So the next match might not be with the Sauruses, with the Lizardmen, because I also created a new Skaven team, and you will see a team creation video for that shortly. So we might play a match or two with the Skaven before we get back to the Lizardmen, but I'll make that decision when I record the next episode. Depends mostly on what team I would like to play more at the moment. So I can't make any promises what it will be, but I still hope you enjoyed this episode and learned from my mistakes. And if you liked the video and the match, I would really appreciate a comment and a like, and if you want to hear more of me, just subscribe to my channel. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you tune in next time. Bye!